What's good, people? Thank you as always for passing by the channel. Much appreciated. Hit that subscribe button if you guys are new. Don't know why I'm going to tell you this, but I tore my quad in the gym today. My left quad has a partial tear in it. I was squatting today. I'm filming this at like 5 o'clock. I was squatting today at 10 in the morning, and on the way down, obviously I don't know why I done that. I heard pop, kid you not, pop, and I had to chuck the weight back like a professional. And I went to the doctor's, done a scan, and there's a partial tear. The doctor told me, you're not a young kid anymore. I looked at him like, 37, dude. I'm 37. Don't be fooled by the grey beards. I'm 37. But he said, no, you're not a young kid anymore. And he's right, I'm not. If I was a professional athlete, I'd be retired. And that did hit home. Like, if I was a professional athlete, I'd be retired. So I'm not a young kid anymore. It's a partial tear. I am pissed off, because I was on the way to getting these skinny legs a lot stronger and bigger. And now I'm going to have to relax for, I don't know, about a month, 2 months, which is disappointing. I am 38 next week, guys. I'm 38 next week. So if anyone wants to send me anything, I'm taking donations of money, alcohol. Jack Daniels is my go-to drinks. If you want to send me anything, feel free to send it. I'm sure we can sort it out. I will happily receive any gifts. All right, let's talk about Kell Brook and receiving gifts. Kell Brook will fight in America next. He will fight on the undercard of AJ versus Miller. I don't know who he's going to fight yet, and we'll talk about that in a minute, but he will fight on the undercard of AJ versus Miller. So another top name, Kell Brook is still a top name Brit, will fight in America next. The exit and the exodus continues, people. And I'm not against our Brits fighting in America, but when a big name leaves the UK and fights in America, I still want there to be big shows in the UK. And I think we are fully aware that right now the shows in the UK aren't the best. Let's be honest, they aren't the best. So I feel like having Kell Brook on one of these shows automatically, for me, boosts the show, especially if he's in there against someone relevant. When he's removed and goes to America, for me, the exodus continues. It continues. Isn't Carl Frampton? I think he announced as well that obviously he signed a deal with Top Rank and ESPN. I'm sure his next fight will be in America as well. So not looking good, is it? Not looking good. You know something, and this is skimming over the subject. We're going to go back to Kell Brook in a minute. But Adam Smith had a great interview with Kugan Cassius a couple of days ago. Check it out if you can on IFL TV's page. You probably already watched it anyway. And he spoke about, because Kugan brought this up actually, that a lot of the Brits are now fighting in America. And he said something along the lines of, because they're offering a lot of money. And that surprised me a bit. And the reason it surprised me is because who's actually paying these guys? Because I thought, for example, let's take Kell Brook for example. I would have thought that Matchroom are paying him, right? That's kind of how it normally works. So the promoter gets a bunch of money from the broadcaster, in this sense, Sky, and then obviously he kind of divides that amongst his fighters. That's kind of how I always thought it was. So I'm guessing in this situation, because Matchroom are paying Kell, again, correct me if I'm wrong here, I'm not an expert on this subject. Because Matchroom are paying Kell, DAZN have basically said, we can pay Kell a bit more on top, if that makes any sense. So DAZN has said, okay, here's the truckload of money that we've got for this AJ versus Miller card. Divide it amongst how you want to divide it. And Kell gets a lot more fighting for DAZN than he would be fighting for Sky. Does that make any sense? But that's kind of what I got from the interview, that DAZN are just able to pay the fighters more than Sky can. So in that sense, that's a scary prospect for Sky. And I said I'm going to do a video about Sky Sports Boxing and how it is on the decline and how they could be in trouble. If DAZN are just saying, look, we can pay you more than Sky can, then obviously a lot of these top fighters are going to fight on DAZN. Why are they going to fight in the UK? They don't care about fighting at home. If DAZN is saying, look, we can pay you $500,000, and Sky is saying, well, the budget we've got only allows you to get paid $200,000, makes no sense to fight on Sky. But that's just the way I'm reading it. Could be wrong. Anyway, back to Kell Brook. Kell Brook has said that he's going to have another warm-up catchweight fight. And then after that, he's going to fight someone serious. Or after that, something else is going to happen. I don't know. I mean, I know he's called Special K, but we might have to change his name to Warm Up or Catchweight, because how many warm-up fights does Kell want? after Kell Brook beat Rabchenko, Kell Brook was talking a lot of smack about the other 154 pounders are unnoticed. I remember it. Go and watch it. Kell Brook was talking a lot of smack to the point where a lot of 154 pounders reached out. A lot of them said, okay, we'll fight you. Jarrett Hurt was like, I'll fight. The Charlos were like, I'll fight. They're not scared of Kell Brook. Nothing happened. And then we got Zafara. And I was like, well, what's this? What's this? That was, again, another warm-up fight, right? Zarafa was another warm-up fight. And to be fair, it was a different trainer. Obviously, he's now no longer with the Ingles. So it was like, all right, you know what? Give you a bit of a blight. That's your warm-up. Next one has to be big, right? They were planning on being Amir Khan. Didn't happen. Really pushing, really pushing. Then I heard about Vargas. And it's strange because Vargas is having a fight at a catchweight as well. But we're going to get to that. So then it was supposed to be Vargas. Vargas didn't happen. And now Brook is having another warm-up fight before a big one. I mean... What's going on? How many warm-up fights has Kell won? How many warm-up fights? Does Kell think he's, what, 24, 25? I mean, what are we talking? Kell's nearly approaching 40 fights, I think, something like this. He doesn't need all these warm-up fights. Just put him in a fucking fight. I think the fear they're having is that he can't make 147. Fact, right? He can't make 147. And the guys at 154 are too big. So he's in no man's land right now. Make 147... and you're struggling because it's too much of a weight for you to drop down to 147. Fight at 154, and unfortunately those guys are boiling down from like 180. So those guys are just so much bigger, stronger, and fresher than you. So Kell's in this weird situation now where he's almost looking for guys from 147 pounds to come up and meet them halfway at like a 151 or 152. Hence why 110%, if Vargas comes through his fight that he's got coming up at a catchweight, and Kell comes through this catchweight fight, they'll have a catchweight fight because Kell doesn't know what to do. He's almost in this weird position, which is why he really wanted this Amir Khan fight at a catchweight, and it didn't happen. Amir Khan obviously then goes and fights Crawford. But his career is just, I don't know. I don't know how to describe Kell's career. And this is coming from a massive Kell Brook fan, but it's just not looking good, is it? I mean, it's just not looking good. Another catchweight fight, another warm-up fight. I mean, what are we doing? I mean, your nemesis is fighting Terence Crawford, a pound-for-pounder for, what is it, the WBO belt, and you're having warm-up fight, catchweight fights. Again, I hate comparing Kell and Amir, but we're going to because they've been linked for about 10 years. But that's what's going on. Amir Khan doesn't fight you. He fights Terence Crawford, leaves you in no man's land. You're then having a warm-up fight on the undercard of AJ versus Miller, whereas Amir Khan is headlining with Terence Crawford, a warm-up fight, and then we're going to have a fight against Vargas. Like, that's a big fight. But Vargas ain't even a big fight as far as I'm concerned. But that's the situation with Kell Brook. He is fighting. That's good. He has announced he is fighting, which is good. That's the only positive because the negatives are that we don't know who he's fighting. It's another catchweight and it's another warm-up fight. Go figure. Peace. Oh yeah, by the way, don't forget, send in your presents. I am accepting anything. A book, CD, Rolex watches. Rolex is a bit much. I won't accept a Rolex unless I've got a very, very, very rich follower. Then by all means, send a Rolex. But I'll be happy with, I don't know, £5 gift vouchers, £10 vouchers, anything. Peace, people.